Okay, so here we learn how to determine whether a data value, an individual data value, is a usual or unusual data value. And that is also a discussion topic in 3.4. So the whole idea is that you need to convert for any individual data value. You need to find a z-score. And so imagine if you have computed the z-score for your data value. If your data value falls anywhere between and including -2 and 2, so once again, if the z-score of your data value falls anywhere in between and including -2 and 2, then the z-score, then your data value would be a usual value. So in between -2 and 2 and including -2 and 2, we have usual. And if either your data is above 2 or lower than 2, if your z-score is either above 2 or lower than -2, we're talking about the unusual values. Okay, and so that is just simply a scale for us to determine whether a data value is usual or unusual. So if we get into one example, if you focus on dataset 1 again, okay, dataset 1. So part A, how about we're gonna look at the value x equals 124. So 124 is one individual data value on the list, on the data set. Now, so to determine whether it's usual or unusual, what we need to do is you need to find a z-score. So z-score of 124 equals 124 minus 76.3, which is the mean value, and divided by the standard deviation, 12.5, and this is what we get for the z-score. So 124 minus 76.3 divided by 12.5, and we have 3.816. So this is the z-score, or rounding to 2 decimal places, we have 3.82. So this is the z-score for 124. So now this z-score is telling me that the individual data value 124 is 3.82 standard deviations above the mean. And so that means this z-score is going to fall into this region right here, this area right here, above 2. So the z-score we found for 124 is above 2. So that tells me that 124 is unusual. Okay, is an unusual value. Okay, so now let's try again. Still in the dataset 1, we're going to look at part B, and we're going to look at x equals about 60. 60 is even the minimum data value on the list, but we want to try to find out if it's going to be usual or unusual. Okay, so we put question marks in here. That's what to be. And so in the preceding problem, it was unusual value, and we circled the unusual. And let's try to investigate in this problem whether it's this value right here, 60, is unusual or usual. So we need to find z-score again. So z-score for 60 in this data set, z-score for 60 is going to be obtained by doing 60 minus 76.3 divided by 12.5. Okay, and so the z-score would be, once again, looking at my calculator here, I have 60 minus 76.3 close parentheses and divided by 12.5. So my z-score is a -1.3. and rounding to 2 decimal place, negative 1.30. So negative 1.30, if you compare to the scale that I have given earlier, negative 1.3 is somewhere still in between the usual range. So the z-score, so this thing right here is still, this number z-score is still on the line of number negative 2 and 2. So negative 1.30 is somewhere here in between negative 2 and 2. So we're still in a safe range. So that means this data value 60 is actually a usual value. So 60 is usual. Okay. 124 is an unusual value. Okay, and that's how we can determine whether a data is usual or unusual.